we have Tamara coming up next with Shirley. Give a big round of applause. Just pretend you're only talking to me.
I am.
So, you're the one who has to drive 1,000,000 miles to get to Platinum every weekend or every month?
1,000 kilometres every month for a platinum meeting. But, you know, with this family, it's worth it. Oh, thank you.
So 1,000 kilometres every month, and then, of course, the similar for my next event, and my next event, and my next event, and all that sort of stuff.
And I drive, and I drive, and I listen to CDs, and I think, and I listen to audiobooks. Yes.
And you've had a few life challenges thrown at you along the way, where you were doing property to start with, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And
You got
the
my story?
proverbial hit the fan. You had a bit of a health scare.
I've had cancer 3 times. I've thyroid cancer in 2010, half it gone. Thyroid cancer in 2011, the other half gone. 2014, breast cancer. But you know what? Nothing stops me.
And I can vouch for that because Shirley is one serious pocket rocket. I'm like, okay, Shirley, let's just stay on track here. Let's focus.
She said, you can't do 23 apartments on your first construction deal.
That was our first conversation. Okay, Shirley, so what's our plan? I've just found a deal and it's 23 apartments. Okay, let's just have a bit more of a conversation around that.
And we did. So my why is why ever stop?
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing stops me. So
how did you end up in ILRE?
I bought management rights on the Sunshine Coast, on Gooburrum in 2012, just for something to do. It was a big complex, 49 apartments, 11 retail, 2 bodies corporate, something to do. My husband was home on our farm, so he used to drive 800 kilometres every week to see me. So, and throughout this, I just loved doing things. So I was looking and it came up. So I went to an evening session and was a bit interested. And when Brett came down, you had a one-day session at the Old Surf Air at Marcoola. So we went along there and we immediately signed to Quantum. Mm-hmm. Thought, this is good. We had done everything wrong, nearly. We had no debt except nearly $3 million for the management rights. But
that's only a little debt.
Yeah, everything was mortgaged that we owned to the hilt. That was the only thing in a company trust structure. Everything else was in our own names. We had our farm, we had industrial sheds, we had commercial offices, I had a set of 4 flats, all in our own name. Yes, and our cattle were in our own name. And
we talked about that too, didn't we?
And they still are.
Oh. Okay, so your starting position was pretty good.
Yes.
You know, you didn't have a lot of debt other than one of the management rights, but they were earning income anyway and paying that off.
Yes, yeah.
They were
actually
starting really well.
Yeah, the management rights was actually about 850,000 gross, but then you took off expenses and interest, it came back to about 184 or so thousand net.
Okay, so you had good income. Income wasn't an issue. Your debt wasn't an issue. Why did you join?
I love to learn. Mm-hmm. I just always want to learn.
Okay.
And I came from a tiny country town, 12 houses, and if anyone listens to Australia All Over with Macca, you'll know Yabobo. So
I know where that is.
Yes.
Okay, so you're starting pretty well. You want to learn. Mm-hmm. What was your first move? Here is some of your existing properties.
Yeah. The one at the top, that's our farm.
Right.
If you hear me say I'm baffled by the bottle, the big one's Baffle Creek, the small one's Bottle Creek, and that's our property on the corner there. That's our farm. which is quite remote because I drive 160 kilometres just to get the groceries. So the top one up there is the industrial offices, which are now empty. The middle one is a set of 4 one-bedroom flats with, and they've never been empty, 4 gentlemen in them, 1 each unit. The bottom one here is our industrial sheds, and that's Element on Coolum Beach, which was my management rights.
Okay. So a smattering there of your property. So what was your first action you needed to take?
Go and get company trust structures set up for any further deals. That was the most important thing, to realise that we had a lot of equity, but we were vulnerable.
Very.
And that's the biggest learning we took away from your one-dayer. And, you know, we were very...
Gift and loan backs happening as well, I would imagine.
Yes, we've got gift and loan back, yes.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so what new deals did you then take on, or did you work on what you already had?
There wasn't a lot of uplift on what we had at all. Our son and now daughter-in-law were looking for somewhere to live in Brisbane. So we bought them a unit where they wanted to, and so that's negative. But that's in a company trust.
You're charging the market rent?
No.
We've had many conversations around that as well. Well, you parents, you need to just toughen up. I'm a parent and, like, we need to toughen up a bit on these kids.
They just got good results at uni. And then you'll see another one, which is a house on a canal in Maroochydore, bought through marketeers after we joined. That one, yes.
-5.
Yes, yes.
They saw you coming, didn't they?
They did, and it was just because we were so busy. And the day I signed the contract, the day I was going to get my test was when I signed the contract, but a couple of days before I'd just been diagnosed with breast cancer, so I wasn't in a good headspace, as well as body corporate and running and management rights and all that sort of stuff. So
never mind.
So anyway.
So you bought the unit in Brisbane. You bought what are the duplexes?
Oh,
Two sets of duplexes?
2 sets of, because we're on a cattle property and we downsized, so we're only small, and farming's not a very profitable business sometimes, especially if you're only small. So we're off to set and forgets. Was my strategy, off-farm income, so that you can retire.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're on the farm forever. You're stuck.
Yep.
So I got a reputation in Bundaberg for, I had agents ringing me saying, we know you like flats, we know you like duplexes. Here we are. So I actually bought 2 sets of duplexes, which are fantastic, both all positive. And then...
Is that this one here? That would be it.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
And that's really good, yeah. One of the tenants, and that's the other one. And those ladies are just fantastic. One's been there nearly 21 years, and they just want to be carried out in boxes. They never want to leave. Perfect. But, and then I didn't really do a lot for me until just before I Love Real Estate Super Conference last year. I decided on the Wednesday I'm going. So I came to a conference, flew to Sydney from Bundaberg, and went to Super Conference, thought, this is it, Platinum. I've got to do something. So I joined up Platinum, and before I'd even got the payment taken out, I'd booked my flights and everything. I actually flew down to Brisbane that time for the first Platinum meeting, and I came to it. And then, that was December. January, I was ringing Tamara saying, I've got this deal. There's 23 apartments. So, and she wouldn't let me do it. So I found this
There's a little bit of tough love. Remember that parenting strategy I mentioned? Sometimes we've just got to keep you on track.
Yeah. So this is the subdivision. I found a subdivision just outside Bundaberg. The house you saw before up the top, if you go back, that one up the top, that's a house on the subdivision. It's 6 acres. We're a bit indulgent. We just use that as our townhouse. So we're there one night a week, maybe. So,
Okay, so
this is it, and it's a 1 into 5 acreage. Should have been really straightforward, but there's one council engineer who just wants us to fix every other issue that the council's got in the area. So that's sort of cut down the profits and caused a few issues and about a month's extra time and redrawing civil works and things like that. But anyway, it's out of council, the ops works approval's through, and the engineer just has emailed on Friday asking if they could use our plans to supplement their future works that they need to do in the district. I'm wondering if I should charge or just say, make it easy for us from now on, please. Yeah.
With each of the challenges, though, that you've had, Shirley always has an amazing positive response. It's like, yep, okay, whatever it is, now let's find a solution. And, picking up the phone and talking to everybody and anybody, which is, what you've got to get comfortable. Even if you're uncomfortable with doing it, you've just got to do it because there are solutions in the people out there that you need to talk to.
And to the point where I had a meeting with the senior engineer and the councillor who's in charge of planning development, and they wanted to bring in the other engineers, and I said, no, thank you. I'll get cross. But it ended up the councillor for the planning and development came up to the farm and bought our weaners. So I've got a good relationship with them. So they buy our cattle and he helps get my approvals through.
So just coming back here, this is the townhouse that you got conned into with the marketeers, negative cash flow, but we'll move on. Yeah. This is the one that you bought for your children and you're not charging market rent for, and it's 10 grand negative cash flow.
They pay $320 a week.
And it should be?
$450.
That's half your negative gearing gone.
Dymphna, they're in university, this is the story, and then when they finish university, then we're on the right track.
All right then. Duplex.
She's told me well.
Duplex is positive cash flow, nice 16 grand there. That made up for some of the others,
yes.
Or both of the others actually.
Yeah.
Then we've got 17 grand positive cash flow here, nice little easy one for you.
Yes.
This is the subdivision. We've got 110 profit coming out of that one when we're all finished, but looks like it's all good now.
Yes.
Yep. And then you bought some storage sheds.
Oh, you missed the industrial sheds.
When I can see them.
Didn't I put them in?
I don't think you did. No.
Oh, sorry, the industrial sheds, they're 103,000 positive. No, that's not them, that's the storage sheds. And I'm putting a solar farm on top of the industrial sheds. The tenants are happy. It hasn't happened yet, but same deal as Melissa put me onto it. Mm-hmm. So the tenant...
103 positive cash flow out of your industrial sheds that you also bought.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So on the industrial sheds, what are they? They're 55 positive cash flow?
No, this is the storage sheds.
Oh, that's what I meant.
This is settling on Tuesday.
Aha.
As long as the titles office comes through.
Yeah, so Shirley will be in the Commonwealth Bank and the titles department tomorrow morning, making this thing settle on Tuesday. So
you would have liked the last platinum talk that I did on storage sheds then?
Yes, absolutely. And I came up and said to you, this is another thing, is with your agents, know your agents, and I've got a reputation. I had a phone call a couple of years ago that these storage sheds, there's 81 of them, might be coming onto the market due to ill health. Mm-hmm. So I just did the drive around and I'd done all my due diligence, so I knew what I wanted to pay. And then I was at the Platinum event in August. Yeah. And the agent rang me and said they're on the market. They're coming onto the market. Do you want them? Mm-hmm. So I said yes. And so when I got back, another platinum couple here were coming up to the farm to visit us, and they met us in Bundaberg. So I grabbed Jackie, took her out to the storage sheds with me. We had a look around. We were there for a couple of hours, and I made an offer there and then of 1.5. Mm-hmm. And then said, I'll have to tell my husband. So, as you do. And so anyway, we were heading off to New Zealand. I didn't have a company's trust structure set up. So I just said, look, we'll just have to leave it. Meantime, another couple came in and, because they were advertised then, and they put a contract on. The They were going to pay 1.525, but they were going to do it through the super fund, and you can't run a business through your super fund. So their contract fell over.
They didn't have a good accountant, but anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, probably not. So, so anyway, I come back and
So it's a good thing for you that they didn't have a good accountant.
Yeah. So I get rung up again when I get back, and do you want them? So I said yes. So we negotiated 1.51 for these.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're mortgaged to the hilt again.
But even after all the interest and everything else, you're 55 up on that, plus you've got a 3-bedroom house and some more containers to go in there, which is another 20. So you'll be 75,000 positive cash flow. So it's okay to go into debt as long as you've got the income coming in, yeah?
Yes, yeah, that's after all interest and everything on 1.6.
So, you know, you talked about your why and, you know, you're being able to just keep going. It's what you want to do. It's what you love to do. You know, what does your husband think about all of this?
He's younger than me. I'm over the hill. I'm 60. And
That is not over the hill.
anyway, but I don't want to stop. But my husband, he's a hermit, more or less. And he just says, when are you going to stop? When? But I just love it. I just love it. Totally love it.
It's not happening. And you've got this whole other life now with all your property mates.
I do. And this is what I said to Tamara. I'm so isolated there on the farm. I get down to platinum meetings and I just talk. Because I just need to talk. So, because from management rights, I'm a people person. From nursing career, because I was nursing, did my training at PA and then was in the operating theatre for 20 years. Did everything from ingrown toenails to open heart surgery. And that led me to, with my girlfriend who's a surgeon on Wickham Terrace, oromaxillary facial surgeon, head neck. I volunteer in Cambodia. You'll see the slide at the end, maybe.
I think this
There it is. Yeah, the top one is, that's the type of surgery we do. They're called ameloblastomas. They're facial tumours and they just grow and grow and grow like a soccer ball, and finally, unless something's done about it, that you'll asphyxiate or you can't swallow, you just emaciate and die. So from lack
And
of...
so you volunteer your time and the doctors volunteer their time and you go across and perform amazing surgery, life-changing surgery on all these beautiful people.
This bottom picture... The bottom picture is intensive care in the Russian hospital in Phnom Penh. So that's the family member looking after the patient who's just had massive surgery, like 5-hour surgery, looking after the patient. And
They don't have enough staff.
Well, they don't. They don't because they've got to pay. And that's why these tumours grow so big, because people don't have the money. They're from the provinces, they don't have the money to pay for it, and the system's so corrupt. Like we take over 80 kilograms of medical equipment and plating and stuff like that, and what's not gets used, the big boys try and snaffle away for their own private cases. So, and that picture there, that's me running the operating theatre. I found out later they call me Nurse Rottweiler. Because I'm so tough on them, because sterility is not a big issue. So, but and I was giving lectures on infection control and things like that. So
Good on you. So your final figures, with you did start with a considerable amount, but you've been able to turn that around without the workload, I guess, more than anything, from to get the income without having to work the management rights and things like that.
because of the set and forget, so that we can have the off-farm income. And also, I share trade.
You didn't mention that to me. That was not in our blueprint conversation.
Dymphna doesn't like it, but I actually do Brian's strategy.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the better ones if you're going to do it.
Yeah. So adding that all up with our shares and everything, it's about 9.5 million with 2.8 million debt. So it leaves us just 6.9 million equity.
You go, girl. So what advice would you give to everyone?
Just be yourself. Like, I can remember... Okay, this is just a very brief me, okay? I had a previous marriage, 2 children, 4 and 2. The big D came along, not you, the big D, the other big D. And my ex was emotionally domineering. So when we did the split, I told Tamara last night about how I was still working in Open Heart, full-time work, and I got every single bit of paper I could, everything like that, and the banks wouldn't look at a woman to give her a loan, especially with 2 children. So I had everything. I went to the Housing Commission in the city. I still remember the building because I was told that they give out loans, but it usually takes up to 3 months. I went in there and I said, if I don't get this loan today, my children and I are out in the street, from a house in Carindale to... Anyway, so I got it that day. I got the loan that day. Just be prepared, be yourself, everything. And I can remember having $1.37 in the bank. So
you're doing pretty well. It's a pretty big turnaround from $1.37 to whatever it was.
yes.
A few million.
I'm happy with that.
Well done, dear. Well done. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
I wouldn't normally, but anyway.
No, it's important to share your story because you inspire others.
Yeah.
You know, there's single mums in the audience that are there when you were back then with the $1.38 or whatever else, or a bit more perhaps, but...
I was never a single mum. I was a sole parent. Sorry, that's my thing.
You're a sole parent with 2 kids.
Yeah.
And look what you've done. You've turned it around amazingly.
With an amazing husband. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, yep. So along the way with things, volunteering, everything, we started off with a cattle property, a turf farm at Caloundra, and used to lease 1,000 acres from Kawana Estates. Now, there was the plans to build a private school on that land and then more housing, etc. So I was asked to join the planning committee for a private school, which I did, and for 7 years I was on the planning committee and then the college council for Pacific Lutheran College. And Jackie is going to present our trophy. We've got a perpetual sports trophy because I was always into sports. And so, because I don't want to do another trip up and down the highway, Jackie and Glenn, their children go to that school, so she's going to present our trophy on awards nights for me. And then the other volunteering is Zonta. I don't know if any of you heard of Zonta. It's like Rotary, but for professional women. And so I was a member of that for many years and still volunteer with events, etc. And one of our big things is domestic violence. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you find that very fulfilling to actually to volunteer your time as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I was brought up by my aunt, because coming from a tiny country town, had to leave home at 12 to go away to school. You probably did too.
I was the sport one who stayed at home, but yes, all my brothers and sisters did.
So I lived with my aunt and uncle in Brisbane, and my aunt was always the CWA, the church, the this, that, serving. So that's how she brought me up to serve. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm always driving myself. And I know I did it to my kids, and I've only just learnt now through all this mindset, let them live their own lives, let them do their own journey. Yeah. Don't put my expectations on them.
That's right.
Because it's pressure. It's pressure on kids that they don't need. And I know I did that. Big time.
Yeah. We all do. Thank you very much, Shirley, for sharing.